bitches.
Hi, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Mistborn, the last episode of Mistborn.
Look at me yawning. We just fucking pushed record and I'm yawning already. It's fine.
It's the end of the book. You can't be yawning. There's a lot of shit that happens.
A lot of shit. It's only like 3 chapters in an epilogue, and a lot happens. 4 chapters in an epilogue, I lied. But
Yeah,
still.
there's a lot. But
So, part 5 Believers in a
Believers,
Forgotten World.
yeah, chapter 35. Uh, let me tell you, we left off. So we left off with the Lord Ruler doing more executions, and within those execution, um I guess I called them boxes, they're not boxes, carriages, was oh, who is it, Lestibornis, or Spook, and Lord
Renew.
Renew. And so Kelsier is like, fuck that, I'm going in regardless of what anyone says, I'm going in. And a whole fight ensues. It was a trap. Everything happens. But yeah.
Yeah. And there are so many, like, mind blown things that happen in these last, like, 4 chapters. Like, multiple things that are like boom, 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 like mind
It's like
fucking blown.
1 second you're done, and then the next second you're like,
So, first of all, when I first started reading, I was still struggling with the fact that I not believing that Kel is dead.
oh, 100%. I finished the book believing that Kel is coming back. Like
Right.
the
Well, I
legitimate
didn't
Kel.
finish the book that way, but like chapter 35, I pretty much, at least at the beginning, just because I was like, we're going through Vin's like grief process with her.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, if Kel is alive, this shit is dirty. Like, to let her
Right?
believe with all the loss and abandonment issues she has, this is dirty. And I keep forgetting how young she is.
Yeah, she's like 16.
Yeah, there was a specific thing. I think I underlined it or highlighted it. No, I didn't. But
This is how I cope though with death. I just assume that they're not. I just assume they're
dead.
away on a long trip. Like
Well, and
that's
I
how
feel like that
I.
happens a lot in books, right? Like
Yeah, and
they make you think
my
they're dead and then
coping.
they're not.
Yeah, like they're just away on a long trip. Like, I shit you not, my mom, like that. This is how I still cope with my mom's death, and it's been years now. It has been, I think, going on for 5 years. Um, the like sometimes I'll have dreams, and all of a sudden she just pops back in, and it's just like hi, and then I'm getting like extremely defensive and pissed off. Like, where have you been? You've been gone for a long time. Well, I was working. Working where? Excuse me. Like, and I'm getting mad, and everyone around me just doesn't understand like why I'm getting so mad, and I'm sitting here like, do you not fucking understand? She's been gone for years, and now she just pops up out of nowhere. Like, what the fuck? That's my cope. That's literally
I
how I
mean,
cope.
yeah.
It's like, so
It's
that's how I handled this right here. I was like, oh, he just away. He just went away on business. He'll be back. It's
he'll be
fine.
back.
I don't
This is all
care how
part
he
of the
comes back. He's
plan.
coming back.
And it really was part of the plan,
Yeah.
because first of all, Kel understood better than anybody that you don't need a spiritual leader. It's much easier to rally people around and get people fired up about a martyr.
Yeah. It
Um,
is. It's insane how that works.
yeah.
It's like
Like,
no.
he was
Ooh,
getting them like rumbling when he was alive, but it took him dying for them to actually rise up.
Yeah. And Kel did a really good job with what he needed to get done, but I think in Vin it really turned into a world of hurt for her. So she actually used that hurt in at the end of chapter 35. She's like, I don't care. He can't feel him like I can feel him. Talked about the Lord Ruler. Because like his smothering and like where he's located just doesn't hurt everyone else as much as it hurts her. And she's like, Kelsey tried to get into it twice. Tonight I'm going to find out what's inside it. And she's like, I'm doing this whether anyone likes it or not. So it's like she's taking Kelsier's like buildup of hope within her and her pain of losing him and like she's being fucking stupid. But
I know. I literally wrote Vin, you crazy bitch.
that's what I said.
But
I was
also,
like, you clever girl.
page 584 is when I realized, or when I accepted, I think, that Kelsier is actually dead. Page 584 for me. It's the scene where the Chandra comes in,
Yeah.
um, and is Kel. And
Yeah.
she was like, I was like, he can't, for the Chandra to have used his bones, he has to actually be dead, right? Like, I don't know, unless he cut off his finger or some stupid shit. But even then, I don't think that would work.
Will's like, hun, it doesn't work like that. And I was like, I don't care. That's how it's working in my brain. And he
And
goes,
that's how it works this time.
I was like, this is how I'm going to do it. And he just looks at me and is like, this is how I cope. Okay. It doesn't matter what death. This is how I'm coping with the death. Okay. And he's just
Yeah.
like, okay, that's not how this works, but okay. That's fine. I was like, oh, yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
And then on page 585 for me, they have a letter from Kelsier, or like a
I
note,
thought you said a Leonard, and I was like, a who?
a letter.
A letter?
And the little last like sentence or two of it, I was like, I'm not crying, you are. Because he says, I think that's everything. It was a fun job, wasn't it? When you remember me, please remember that. Remember to smile. Now move quickly. May you rule in wisdom. And like after reading his whole note, I was like, like,
Yeah,
ugh.
leading up into leading up until Kelsey's death, Will kept handing me tissues, and I was like, I'm not crying. He goes, you might. You might. And I was like, okay. And I didn't cry when everything happened. I didn't cry because of that, you know,
Because we
coping.
didn't believe it.
Yeah, and so then when I read this, and that's when I was like, he's still not dead, but this is so sad.
And then, ooh, then
I
they
know.
hand
I felt
Vin.
so bad for Vin because like he mentioned everybody in the letter but her and no one said anything to her about
Well,
her part.
then they give her a little sack with a bunch of atium. Is that how you
I
say it?
think so.
Atium.
Does
Um,
how do we say it before adium?
Atium. I
Yeah,
think
it's
it's atium.
atium.
Um, and the 11th medal, and a note from Kelsier, which I just highlighted like this. I put like a little bracket around the whole fucking section. Um, because fuck you, Kelsier. Like, I literally wrote in my notes, oh, fuck you, Kelsier. Because he's like, your original duty was going to be to assassinate the high nobleman, but you convinced me they should live. I can never figure out how the 11th medal is supposed to work. It won't kill you. It's safe to burn, but it doesn't do anything useful. If you're reading this, then I failed to figure out how to use it when I faced the Lord Ruler. I don't think it matters. The people needed something to believe in, and this was the only way to give it to them. Please don't be angry at me for abandoning you. I was given an extension in life. I should have died in Mayor's place years ago. I was ready for this. The others will need you. You're their Mistborn now. You'll have to protect them in the months to come. The nobility will send assassins against our fledgling kingdom's rulers. Farewell. I'll tell Mare about you. She always wanted a daughter. Fuck you, Kelsier. I made my camera go blurry and everything.
I know. It's so sad because you're just like, yeah, she really did want a daughter, didn't she? She could have had the perfect daughter in Mare. Or not Mare, but Ben.
Fuck you, Kelsier. Anyway, that's all I have for chapter 35.
Same.
So, chapter 36.
Listen. Listen. There was a lot that happened in this chapter, and I was not ready for any of it.
For real. Like, yeah. First of all, Vin walks straight up to the fucking palace and she's like, "Hey yo bitches, they're gonna be meeting back in the Survivor Square. So just go over
Now's your
there." And these
chance.
guys are like, "Rip!" And they rip their fucking
Onward.
uniforms and they go to where she said to go. Like fucking nothing. Not that she couldn't have just killed them if she had to, but like I was just like, okay.
I think she was walking into this knowing that every fucking
Yep.
time they're
I saw it.
anyways, every time here's and I wonder if she did this on purpose though. So she walks in there. She's not using any of her like any of her powers, any of her honestly anything. There's literally something in my keyboard. The fuck. And she just walks in there as if she owns the place. But I think she's doing it on purpose because of the last time, or like she found out that, well, what she thinks betrayed Kelsier and Mare because they were using like allomancy.
Yeah.
So I think she walked in there without doing anything, without fighting. Because I'm sitting there like, why aren't you like killing these guards? Like, why aren't you doing something about these guys? And I'm sitting there like, oh, that's it.
Yeah.
That's probably why.
Yep. Well,
I was like,
and
ooh,
then so
smart
she
girl.
gets inside and there's two inquisitors, and basically instead of fighting them, she runs from them to get to that little building within a building thing to find the Lord Ruler's secrets. And she doesn't realize it at the time, but she does find one of his secrets because he happens to be in there. And
Which is
let me
weird. Like,
see.
what the fuck you doing in the middle of the entire thing? Which, here's the
Right, and
thing.
he's like old as dirt when she finds him, though.
Yeah. But the Lord
And I
Ruler that
literally,
was in the
because
square
he's a
was young as shit.
Farokimist.
That's what it was. What is it? Will told me how to pronounce it. It's Pharaohchemist. Pharaohchemy. Because there's like a specific term that it is a derivative of Faroukami. Pharaoh. Pharaohchemy. Pharaohchemy.
Farokimist? Whatever.
Yeah,
It's
anyways. So we didn't know that. We had no idea. I honestly was like, from the get go, I was like, oh my god, this makes so much sense because he wears all the fucking rings and all the earrings and all the random bullshit. And he's trying to get rid of everybody that does it because they don't want them to know who he is, any of that. I was like,
this shit
son of
is
a bitch.
wild.
Right? In the person that we're like reading about isn't even who that is. Or not what we're
Right?
reading about. The
The
journal isn't
blurbs.
even yeah.
But we
We're
don't know
like,
that
oh,
yet.
oh, sorry, I got a little excited. But I don't know. I was just, it's like, all right, Gramps, what the fuck are you?
Yeah, we got another revolution before then. Or not revolution, but another. Yeah, that's the right word. Is it like another revelation? That's what it is.
Yeah, I was like,
Another
revolution. No, we
revelation
got
before
one.
then. Um,
We got one, and we're winning it.
but yeah, so, right. So Vin uses the fucking oh wait.
A team.
Yeah. Uses the fucking no, the other medal, the 11th medal or whatever.
Oh yeah.
She burns that and she sees a terraceman basically beside the Lord Ruler. and then she sees like a businessman beside, or like a nicely dressed man beside the Inquisitor.
I
And
think
she's
it's the
like,
one.
what the fuck?
Yeah. Which is so weird because, like, obviously we don't know what the elemental does. We know what gold does. And didn't she say not like how like one complements the other?
Yeah.
Not saying it's like an alloy or anything like that, but it's so
Yeah.
crazy how gold complements the 11 metal.
Yeah.
Because the one sees like what could have been based on your choices, and the other one is like, hey, this is what used to be. This is your past,
Yeah.
right?
Wait, no, I thought it was like gold shows you what you could have been, and the
Yeah,
other
like
one
what could
shows you what they could have been. Right? Like
maybe
what others could have been? I
the
don't
way I
know.
interpreted it, and this could be completely wrong. Um, the way I interpreted it was that the gold one shows you like what you could have been based on your choices. So like kind of showing what the future held for you if you didn't do some choices. And then the other one was like what they were at once upon a time. But what you just said makes so much more sense. And you know what? Brandon Sanderson decided to put in a nice little blurb at the very end of all his books telling me about
Oh
what
yeah,
all of
about
these
the
things
metals.
stand for. So maybe I'll just read that handy dandy little chart and I will figure it out here in a second.
Um,
Continue with what you were saying though.
but yeah, so she does that, and then um, basically the Inquisitor's like, I want to keep this girl, blah 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 blah, because I want to
She's
use. I want.
important.
Yeah, she's important, and she's evidence in the canton of Inquisition taking over, or the canton of Orthodoxy,
Something.
whatever, of the Inquisitors taking over the church, basically, instead of
Yeah.
the
It's like state versus church.
obligators. Yeah.
It
And
doesn't
then
say in the
we
back, so.
switch to Ellen.
What a sweet boy.
Yeah, Ellen's dad is a fuckhead because they're all like, we're leaving because there's a Scar Rebellion, so we're getting out of here. And he's like, also, something happened with the ATM, and before the Lord Ruler figures it out, we're gonna get out of here. And Ellen's like, I'm not leaving. And he's like, you know what? Cool, stay and be the scapegoat. Take the fall for us. And his dad is just a fucking fuckhead.
Yeah.
But I knew Ellen was good. I knew he was a good man. I knew
Here's
it.
the thing. When he was like, my lord, what are we gonna do? And he's like, we're turning ourselves in. And I was like, into who? You going to the Lord Ruler? Like, are you trying to tell him what you think should be done with the world? And then this is where my brain went. I was like, okay, he's gonna go to Lord Ruler. He's gonna see Vin there, and then he's going to, I don't know, try to be the knight in shining armor. Can't be because he's not, an active metal bender of anything. Not bender, not even a bender. Allomancer.
This is not Avatar.
Anyways, not a I almost said it
Allomancer.
again. Allomancer, yeah, in any way, shape, or form. But then I was like, huh, what if Reen pops up? What if he shows up to like
I
save the day? Like
mean,
where Kelsier left, Reen
he
pops
kind of
in.
does.
Well, that broke my heart, to
Indirectly.
be honest with you. Like that broke my heart
Yeah.
more than anything else in the fucking world. But anyways,
Yep.
this is where I was going with. I was like, okay, cool. Cool. I'm gonna keep reading then. Maybe this will happen. No. I was not ready for Ellen Venture going anywhere.
Yeah. He
But
turns himself into the Skaa.
yeah, I was like, who? Huh? How? Why? His reasoning behind it is very good though. Like,
Yeah.
I know these guys and this is blah 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 blah. This is how we're gonna do it, and this is gonna be the best way to do it. And we're like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Let's just follow him.
I don't know. The whole thing was just wild. And then the rest of the chapter is just wild. Like, they pull her back out of her like dungeon cell or whatever and are like, this man's your daddy, yada yada, and they kill that man for,
Savagely.
yeah, for having a dalliance with a Skaa woman and not ensuring that she was murdered, because how fucking dare he. um and yeah, and then they're like, the half-breed child shall be destroyed, but there are questions I want to ask her first, yada yada yada. So basically,
Yes.
if what's his name, Carr, if he
Car.
hadn't
Oh,
been the Inquisitor, like, I want to ask her some questions first, she would have died already. But because he was like cocky and like, I want to ask her some questions first,
I want
all
her to
the
know
next
that her
chapter
brother
happens.
suffered. And listen, is this in the same chapter 37?
Well, no, that's the end of chapter 36. So now we're on chapter 37.
Does that happen in 37 or does it happen in 38?
Her brother
Yeah.
happens in 37. It
Oh,
happens in 37.
we're here now. What the fuck is
First,
timing?
it's like they're asking if they can get, or Dox is making a plan and asking if they can get Vin out, and he's like, no. Um, but then Ellen shows up and basically surrenders and yada yada yada, which we already talked about. And then we go back to Vin. Um, and someone else shows up in the dungeon cell next to her.
Says it.
Sazed. Oh, actually, we find out about her brother before that.
That's the problem with
Right before that.
having different books. We're all. So basically, Reen was captured, which is why he never came back. And it wasn't like he abandoned her. He literally just never came back. Turns out he was captured by the Inquisitors. He was tortured. He did not break because that's why she was never found out about. He, to his dying breath, told them, convinced them that she had died, that their mother had drowned her or killed her or whatever.
Yep. Yep, yep, yep.
And yeah, proud of him. What a good big brother.
Yes. So, and that was going to help her heal a lot too, I think, because like
Yeah,
she wasn't abandoned. He actually died protecting her.
and
So,
it's
and
and
he
it's
never betrayed her.
yeah, and I think it's kind of like the she's willing to die for this now, just kind of like how Kelsey was willing to die because he finally believed that Mare never betrayed him.
Yeah.
Not saying that she's going to die, but I just
Now,
think that
I just
she
need to,
doesn't care.
yeah. I just need to read, because you've already read this and like some of the people listening have already read this. I just need to read the next little progression of my notes in order, because I think it's really funny. Like, I'm not even going to explain anything. I'm just going to read them. So first I said, not Sazed. Did he come to save her? But of course, this was his plan. Ellen. Yes, Vin. That's the progression of my notes.
Yes, Vin. Alan.
That's how my notes go. So Sazed swallowed the metals to that he stored his strength in and bust them out. And then Ellen shows up to join the fight, and he's like, Villette! And she's like, that's
I
not
love
my
you.
fucking name.
I'm not Villette.
And they keep fighting. And then she
It's
finds her medals. And she
Every
whoops
time
everybody's ass.
right? Every time I see Ellen coming into a scene to like save somebody, all I can think of is the um the scene before Kelsier dies where he's like, "The let you unhand her."
Yes. Yes.
That's all
And
I
then
can think of.
for me it's page 616, and then they're like done fighting basically, and she's like, you came back, and he's like, yes, and I see that you're Mistborn. That's rather interesting. You know, it's generally common courtesy to tell one's friends about things like that. And then he's like, Valette, what happened to your clothes? And then she starts talking, and then he's like, yes, Valette, do you think you could put some clothes on? Like, he's super
This is
distracted
kind
by the
of
fact that she
distracting.
is just in her undies.
And it's
And
so funny
that's
because like
basically the end of chapter 67.
yeah, it's so funny that that's his response to like her like you came back for me because like she is in such a profound state of someone actually cares like because Sazed came after her, Alan came after her after she thought
She
he
just found out
abandoned
her
her,
brother didn't betray her.
right? And like Kelsier didn't forget about her, like she had a part in the plan too. It wasn't like she was just some random girl they picked up. And he is just like so prim and proper from the high lords of society. Like, can you please go put some pants on? This is so
Yeah, like,
basic.
what is wrong with you?
It's like, bro, this is how she lived. Like, this is normal for her. Like, calm down.
And then, like, loses her fucking mind and is like, I'm gonna go fucking fight I about said the High Lord, the Lord Ruler. Um,
Listen, throughout the entire series, I'm like, yeah, what about the High Lord? And Will's like, Lord Ruler. And I was like, yeah, him. That
yeah,
one.
that guy.
Sorry, that one.
Um, but she's like, she had one idea. It would work. It had to. Bitch, what idea? And then we find out what the idea was, and it was, I mean, it wasn't a
I
bad
think I know
idea,
how
but
to kill him.
it didn't work.
Yeah. It was I mean, I just lost my train of thought. I'm sorry.
Well,
But
because so what she ends up doing is like using the 11th metal and
mhm.
killing the other version of the Lord Ruler.
It's not a bad
And it doesn't
idea.
work. It's not a bad idea, but like, it's a not, it's not something
Concrete
that you
enough to
have
try.
any kind of, yeah, yeah. Like, there's
Like,
not
well,
enough
you
proof
either
that
gonna
it might
die
work.
risking this.
Yeah. So, like, but,
Whatever.
um, yeah.
Good for her for that gumption, though.
And then,
Oh,
like, she makes a fucking entrance into the Lord Ruler's, like, throne room. Um, because Carr is in there talking to the Lord Ruler, and all of a sudden, a bunch of coins break through the window, and like she just shatters the big stained glass window and
through the
comes in,
window to the wall.
and she stabs his other self.
And guess what
And
happens?
then,
Nothing. She
yeah,
went
nothing
straight
happened.
through it as an apparition. But the biggest
But
fucking
then,
plot twist of this
the
entire fucking series happens.
seriously,
I
the Lord
listen.
Ruler is like, Inquisitors to me.
And then one inquisitor pops in and it's just like, who the fuck is that? And you're just like, is it? Is it? And then
Yeah,
all of a sudden he starts killing the other inquisitor and then he pops out and you're just like, that's fucking Marsh. Marsh is
it's
alive.
Marsh. Marsh did figure out how to kill the Inquisitors by becoming one. Yeah, he
So
did.
then like who died? Was it an obligator? Isn't that now I wonder if that's like the initiation to like become an inquisitor, you have to kill an obligator because they're so at ends with each other?
Maybe.
Because there was an obligator there with him.
Yeah. I don't know. I literally wrote, what the fuck? Oh shit. Oh fucking shit. That's a turn I didn't suspect. And then I said, what the fuck is the Lord Ruler? Because he starts like fucking shit up. And then I wrote
Right.
on page 626, they're like fighting. Um, and I wrote, is he a Farouk chemist
Yeah.
and an Allomancer?
Ferocimist. See, that's what I
Ferocimist.
was saying. I was like, is he an Allomancer? And I was like, no, I think he can mask all of that.
And
But
then the
then no,
second
I think he's both.
huge revelation. This is not the
He
person who has been writing the blurbs. This is not the person that they thought.
So the person that was supposed to go to the Well of Ascension to save all of humanity, to like be the person that everyone needed, was fucking murdered by a terraceman. The actual terraceman that hated him all the fucking time, and now I can't find his name.
Is it Rashik? Rashik?
Rashik. Yeah,
Rashik?
him. He hated the actual person, the actual man who was supposed to do all of this. Like, he hated him because he felt that it was within his power, his blood to be that person because he was a terraceman. And he killed the dude and then did it himself, pretended to be the guy, and then he fucked it all up. He
And
went
that's why
down
the
a reign of
logbook
terror.
stopped so suddenly,
Yeah, because he
too.
was murdered that night.
And then I was
Because
like, how is he
his past
still
self,
alive?
right? Because his past self is a herdsman, which is what Rashik was.
Yeah.
Because the actual guy was not that he was like well to do, but he wasn't a herdsman.
Yeah.
And that's
And
how
then
he figured it out.
she figures out how to kill him. Um, he has these like bracelets on his upper arms that are like piercing his arms, and she rips
Mm-hmm.
them bitches out, rips them right out, and he like first of all deflates and loses all his muscles and starts to get old. And they're talking about like, oh, never mind, that's the epilogue. But I wrote, bye bitch,
Yeah, fuck you.
bye, because she raised the spear and rammed it directly into the Lord Ruler's heart.
And it like I wasn't crying, but I was like teary eyed because he was like, I bring you a message from a friend of ours. He wanted you to know that he's not dead, he can't be killed, he is hope. And it's like you're right.
Yeah.
Uh,
And then it's all that's left is the epilogue. And in the epilogue, in the blurb, the last sentence of the blurb is, if I fail, another shall come to finish my work. It's Vin. Because she is also, I think, an allomancer and a ferrochemist. Whatever the fuck.
Ferochromist.
Ferrochemist.
Whatever the
I
fuck
don't
it is.
think she knows that yet, but I think she
No,
is. Or
yeah.
she's something altogether different, if not.
I think she is maybe something, I don't want to say bigger and better, but like
Yeah.
maybe something more evolved, like the Avatar. A little bit of everything.
Yeah. Something
She's a
is different
bender of
about her.
everything.
But either way, I think that she is the another that's going to come along to finish the work.
Yeah.
A surprise twist that I kind of didn't expect and almost don't really love, but they're basically making Elend king.
Yeah, that really threw me off. I'm
I
not saying like it was bad, like it was a bad
no,
move, but it
it's
was
not bad. He's a good man. I get why they did it because the other noblemen are more likely to respect him and accept him than anyone else. But also, this was the Skaa rebellion. There should be a
a ska.
Skaa,
There was
and
supposed
maybe
to
like
be.
maybe he's going to work with them, and maybe he's going to be with Vin. I don't know. I don't know, but I just felt like that wasn't what I wanted to happen there.
Yeah.
As much as I love Ellen, we all know that. So it's not
Yeah.
because I don't like him.
I think part of it too is maybe they, and we obviously didn't really see this because this is the epilogue and it's been a year since everything has passed, I believe. No, I
No,
started reading Well of Ascension. I am so sorry.
there's not.
Never mind.
That's not. Nothing is.
Sorry. This
No.
is what happens when you read ahead. This is why you can't read ahead.
Which will be interesting when we do Fourth Wing because surprise, we're doing Fourth Wing. Because I've already read that book.
Yeah. I have not.
So for me, it's page 636, but it's in the epilogue, and they're talking about it's Vin or no Marsh and Vin and Sazed talking about the Lord Ruler or Rashik killing or the breeding programs to where the terracemen weren't allowed to mix with the rest of the populace lest they pass on latent ferrochemical motherfuck abilities. And Marsh shook his head. His own people, he did such horrible things to them just to keep hold of his power. It's disgusting, but like
Yeah.
it's happening here. It happens now. It's like, I mean, look at El Gran Cheeto Puff. And then I wrote "Don't be an idiot, Vin." And why did I write that? Oh, because the Conjura has like this whole contract that has been passed to Vin, and she's like, I don't want it around me. It ate Kelsier. First of all, not how this fucking works. At least I don't think. I don't know. I guess kind of, but no. Second of all, Kelsier told it to. Third of all, don't be an idiot. Like, there's a whole fucking revolution going on right now.
Yeah, fuck
And you
you.
have this, like, insane creature on your side. That would be like Thera being like, nope, sorry, Reaxis, you're gonna have to stay in the fucking library. Like,
Or
what?
the Weaver. Or the Bone
Yeah,
Carver. All of
like,
that.
no. Dumbass. And then Sazed says that they put a good man on the throne, and my heart was like, da 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 da. Because it was happy that they finally called him a good man. And then I just wrote a bunch of hearts.
Yeah. I was like, oh, okay, these are happy tears.
Yes. And Reen's voice in her head has now fixed itself. Like,
Yeah.
instead of telling her, no, don't trust him, it tells her to go to him. And honestly, this book could have been the end. Like, it could have been a standalone, and I would have been happy with the ending. I'm glad it's not a standalone because I want more. But it could have been, and I would have been okay. I'm happy with how
Yeah.
it ended. I don't like
Yeah.
that Kelsier died. I'm still not entirely convinced he's not going to come back later.
Somehow, somewhere.
Yeah.
Because we don't really
But
know how the conjure works yet. We only, like, have an idea about it in that
yeah.
it's related to the mist race, but grown up.
Yeah.
Which makes no sense to me.
Me neither.
But
To me, more evolved makes more sense, but whatever.
yeah. Someone's like, yeah, juvenile is this, and a grown up one is this. And I'm like, huh?
Huh?
I didn't realize they could do that. Creatures of the wild you never knew about.
You
But
know?
yeah.
That
So
was Mistborn.
and that
Thanks,
was the
William.
shortest Mistborn episode yet.
Yeah, it was.
That was so good. I can't wait to go back to Well of Ascension, which we will.
We will, yeah.
We're trying not to burn out on books too quickly. So
Yeah.
we're learning from our mistakes of reading Akatar all the way through.
Yes. So I think next is Fourth Wing, and then we don't know which one we're going back to, but we'll either be going back to Piper CJ or To Well of Ascension, right?
Yeah, one of those two. It's been a bit for the Piper CJ books.
Yeah.
We are going to have a standalone episode too about Haunting Adeline. It's not going to be very
Yes.
thorough like the rest of the books, but it to
More of
be a
just a
bit
discussion.
something. Yeah.
So
We both have to finish it first. We're very close, so maybe that'll be our up and coming episode
yeah.
within the next month or so. So,
Yeah.
but yeah. Until next time.
Bye.